Hey, what's going on there, folks? Welcome back here to a special update here on a Northern California fire going on around the city of Oroville. This is a live look here from one of the PG&E cameras. Looking south here, got an area where the fire started over here to the right. This here is going to be Oroville Dam heading up into the Kelly Ridge area. This is actually a pretty significant fire called the Thompson fire. And taking a look at the latest acres here. Let me refresh this, make sure we got the latest data. Shows 2,135 acres, but they put this out about an hour or so ago, so I'm sure it has advanced to a larger coverage by now as far as the fire activity goes. Now, the fire started back here, Thompson fire. This is the city of Oroville. Let me back out here and show you where Oroville is in Northern California. So the white area, the gray colored area is the older fires out here in Northern California. The campfire, oh shoot, I can't remember the name of this one. Dixie fire up here around Chester, Lake Almanor, Greenville area from a few years back. Oroville sits about 70 miles north of Sacramento here. So here's the Thompson fire. City of Oroville down here. Evacuation, mandatory evacuation is in the red. That's going to be these mandatory evacuation orders. So we got these orders stretching all the way north here to Oregon City. These are evacuation warnings level 2 here for this area. There's definitely some houses up here, little communities, little cabins and whatnot. But the big scary thing is that this fire is headed towards the Kelly Ridge area here in Oroville. And this is the latest satellite imagery here of some hot spots out here, picking up some heat, burning into the area here just shy of the Kelly Ridge. Here's Oroville Dam. Here's the government offices here that control the water release and whatnot there at Oroville Dam. And they have evacuated as well. But it looks like that fire has went into this area. This is the fire perimeter here in the red line. Again, the white or the red dots here indicating some hot spots being picked up on satellite imagery, as you can see here in this region. But this is the official perimeter line of the fire in the darker colored red. So this fire is headed off in the general direction here to the southeast. And of course Kelly Ridge sits up here. There's numerous homes. This whole area is evacuated underneath a mandatory evacuation order. Hopefully everyone got out. This is no joke. Winds are expected to pick up tonight, big time winds out of the north, which will push this fire further down south into deeper areas of Oroville. And of course the Kelly Ridge area is of some high concern as well. Once it gets in here, starts burning all these homes, then we're looking at a worst case scenario. But yeah, Oroville Dam. I was just up here a couple years back checking out the water level here, and beautiful drive up there, but a lot of dry vegetation in this area. We've seen a pretty hefty winter last couple winters here, which has allowed the undergrowth to grow out here sufficiently. Now that's dry and hot and windy. Well, that fire has lots of fuel to burn and to eat up, and as it heads its way into the Kelly Ridge area. Haven't got any confirmed reports yet of it burning specifically right there at the Kelly Ridge, but on the satellite image here, we're getting some hot spots really close to that area, Kelly Ridge out here. And a lot of homes. Once it starts burning into that, then it's hard to control because you got sufficient fuel and other items there that can increase the intensity of the fire. So heading up north as well, evacuation orders up here in the red, warnings in the yellow up here north. Oregon City is underneath the evacuation order, mandatory evacuation for that area, because this fire is also headed to the north here in some areas that are dry, a lot of trees up here as well. Even though we have a northwest wind here, it is still burning into this densely vegetated area here, picking up the hot spots. Here's the perimeter once again. The main concern, I think, tonight is going to be the increase in the north wind. I was looking at that Here's the current wind status out here. Fairly light. Oroville area sits here, 104 degrees. It's been a hot day, that's for sure, but we're expecting the wind to pick up overnight out of the north here, and it looks like about 2 o'clock in the morning or so, getting an increase here in the Central Valley, northern Sacramento Valley, I should say, around Willows. Oroville should see some of that, but it looks like most of the north wind's going to stay over here along the west side of the valley. 93 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, goodness. But expect fire conditions here to pick up overnight, unless they can get a handle on that. But come afternoon time tomorrow, we got the strong north wind, even around the Oroville area picking up, and that can drastically spread this fire in a unimaginable way. So we need to be on guard. Here's a look at one of the Oroville cameras here. Got Lake Oroville out here in the distance, and this camera actually got shut off. This was at about 14:41, so we're talking about 2:41 in the afternoon, which was a few hours ago, but it did get shut off. I'm guessing it lost power, but you can see a lot of dark smoke out there, burning a lot more than trees. This is the current imagery looking down here to the south. This is a camera pointing. Show you guys where this camera is. This camera is going to be situated right here. Oroville, Lake Oroville right here. Kelly Ridge sitting up here. This camera is that one I just showed you guys with that dark smoke, but it's offline. Here's Rattlesnake Peak looking down there. A lot of dark smoke. But the broader view, here's a view from south of Oroville looking north. I think the view I had up here is an interesting view nonetheless. Let's bring lookout number 2. Shows a broader scale of things out here. Oroville Dam over here. The fire's been working its way over that way to the east and south, and also to the north here. So, yeah, a little scary situation out here for sure, folks, in Northern California. Sparked up out of the blue. Not for sure what caused it. A little odd again, right? You know me and these odd fires. It's very suspicious. Here is the current Butte County evacuation zones here. Again, in the red is going to be the areas that are underneath a mandatory order. The warning in the yellow. Again, there's Oregon City up here. Kelly Ridge, of course. A whole lot of evacuation going on out there for now. A pretty decent amount of population, specifically in the Kelly Ridge area. This is kind of an upper area around the lake. Some high-class homes up here as well, but they are underneath an evacuation order. And further down south, was a little concern as well. Got some warnings down here south of Oroville East. Not quite down into the Palermo area yet. Hopefully that stays out of there, but that's further down here. Depending on what the fire does tonight, with that north wind kicking up. That's why they have advanced these evacuation orders throughout the majority of Oroville East. And a good portion of Oroville, believe it or not, is underneath these evacuation orders. A little scary. Current most updated information here. I've been seeing airplanes fly out here, big fire tankers, trying to get caught up on this fire, trying to put it out. There's 0% containment. Again, 2135 acres is what got put out here a couple hours ago. So I'm sure it's up there by now. Satellite imagery showing some hot spots out here further south, away from the area that the perimeter. You can barely see the perimeter here in the red line. More so over here around Oroville Dam. But these are the hot spots that are being picked up by satellite imagery. So the fire is burning within these regions here. Headed down into the Oroville East area, and of course the Kelly Ridge region. We'll cover this a little bit more later in the nightly update, folks. Little scary deal. Of course, power outages out there. That's going to happen. Quite a few radio stations offline here in Northern California as well, whether it's due to this fire or other things. But we lost about 4 radio stations in Northern California here that are offline. So thoughts going out here to the Oroville folks. Take heed. Don't stay behind. Don't don't just hang out and expect to try to fight the fire yourself. We got winds picking up tonight. Very dangerous scenario that's coming in to the Kelly Ridge area right now. Again, we'll cover this and more in tonight's daily tonight update. Make sure you guys subscribe here. We'll cover all the earthquake activity and solar weather events, including this fire activity here in Northern California a little bit later on this evening. So stay safe out there, and definitely take heed to the warnings that are going on for the evacuations out here around Oroville.